Mike, you know I got nothing but respect for you, which is why I'm here.
Go on.
I know that we had a minor disagreement about the overhead press, but we both respect each other. And we both agree, well, the overhead press, its role in terms of hypertrophy may or may not be great. We both agree it has no nonsense strength,
Manhood strength.
manhood strength. And you actually had a phenomenal overhead press. You did at 240 pounds, 240 for how many repetitions?
10.
You also did 275 pounds for how many repetitions?
8.
You love the overhead press. I know you like the overhead press.
The overhead press, me no. The love of my life. So quickly she left me, didn't she? Fucking bitch. Dr. Mike, you're too muscular and now immobile to do me right. I go to the next guy. But will she treat you like I did? 275 for 8. You fucking had it good. Yeah, I loved the overhead press.
You love, yeah.
Not all loves are meant to last.
Oh, well, Mike, I'm just saying that maybe if you're to instruct my audience how to get a bigger, stronger overhead press, that'd be very useful because I know you used to like the overhead press, but you know a lot about it. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the overhead press.
Life without you. You know what? It's good. It's stable. None of this bullshit abdominal activation, leg control. I sit down. I bench press now. I'm fine. I don't need you. But fuck, you were so good. You were so fucking smooth. We made fucking music together. It was so beautiful. Yeah. I can do that. No,
Okay, yeah. Are you good?
Yeah, no, I just had some stuff on my mind.
Okay. Yeah. So talk to me, man.
I'm totally over it, though.
You're over.
No, I'm cool.
You're over the overhead press.
I'm cool.
Yeah, so go. Yeah, man. So talk, Mike. So the overhead press, you had a monster lift. How did they get it? What do we do?
First thing you gotta do is have a good attitude. I'm just kidding. That doesn't mean shit. There's a couple things about the overhead press that are important if you want to do it really well. Just a couple principles. Number one is you have to have a really stable foot position. The stability is what allows your strength to vector itself in the right direction. If you're unstable, you're going to lose a crap load of strength. So there's two ways to go about it. One is what I would call Zadruno Savickas style, which you just take a slightly wide toes out stance, really stable, and you're good to go. Another one is you can do the staggered style, which I recommend having your feet the shoulder width apart, maybe a little more. One foot out, pointed like a squat, and one foot pointed kind of almost at a 90-degree angle to that, maybe a little shallower, because there you have this foot and this foot for the side to side, this foot and this foot and this toe for the front to back, and this extra toe out here for more side to side. So for some people that works well. Now some people will start to kind of cantilever over if they do that too much. I'm not a big fan of the staggered close stance because then you have a lot of lateral instability. So I'd say my favorite is this. Then anything between that, and that, I think is pretty good. What do you like? Do you like a straight up, just normal stance? Yeah. Some people love it. Many people do. A lot of people, though, you will see people take a staggered stance, and it does wonders for them. The next thing is what I think a lot of people get wrong about overhead pressing as much as possible is they try to brace down with their core. Low bar squatting, deadlifting, Chris Duffin style, you want your ribs down, 100%. But for the overhead press, you want to leverage as much upper pec as possible into the movement. And that means that you're going to arch your back. Is that bad for your back? It's not amazing for your SI joint, but if you work up in loads and take deloads every now and again, you're going to be just fine. So what you want to do is have this position here where you lift your chest sky high. The next concept is where to put the bar. You want to put the bar as close to your clavicles as possible because the distance between your shoulder joint, which is the axis of rotation, and the bar, you want to minimize as much as possible. Imagine deadlifting with the bar out here. Oh my God, you're not going to pull shit. You get the bar super close, you're going to pull a lot. You get the bar in the hex deadlift, and then all of a sudden, because it's right in your center of gravity, everyone can fucking hex bar deadlift like 1,000,000,000,000 pounds. So you want the shoulder press to be leveraged as optimally for you as possible. So you're going to lift your chest, you're going to retract your shoulder blades back, you're going to put the bar right on your clavicles. And the next concept is to make sure that you get your head the fuck out of the way. I watched a shoulder press demonstration on YouTube once, which had a bunch of views. And he was doing it with the bar. And he was arcing out and then arcing back in. And I was like, next. Like, you can't even do that with 135. I can't do that with 135, and I'm 10 times that guy's size. There's no way it's going to fucking play. So there's an interesting thing that happens with your head. At the bottom of the shoulder press, when you have the bar here, you want to take your chin and recess it back. So you're already like this, chin out. You move your chin out of the way, it gives the bar clearance. You want your head back as far as possible to get the bar as close to your axis of rotation as possible. Once the bar passes your forehead, what you want to do is get even closer to that axis of rotation now that you've cleared your head. The ideal shoulder press, if your head was a completely permeable object, would just be through your face. But you can't do that in real life, so you move your face out of the way, and then as you pass through, you take your head and you move it forward. Not a crap ton crazy exaggeration, because you're not clean and jerking, but a decent amount. You're going to move your head through, and at the same time, you're going to start pressing back a little bit. Not just straight up, but back. And pressing back gets you leveraged better. That actually engages your side delts and your traps a little bit, gives you that smooth lockout at the top. So big chest the whole time, shoulders back, bar on the clavicles as close as possible. You're going to press up like this, and you're really thinking up and back. If you scratch your nose, that's perfect. You want to be as close as possible. You move 1 inch away, that's 20 pounds off your overhead press. Up and back, and as soon as you clear your forehead, head through, lock out, and then you reload by coming back down, pause, and repeat. Anything there you disagree with? A way you have doing something different?
No, I want to give you respect, man, because sometimes when I'll post an overhead press video, and we get that thoracic extension, and we're trying to use the upper pecs, and people are like, oh, you're leaning back. I'm like, well,
no shit, motherfucker. Next, you're going to tell me I bend over on the deadlift. You want to give it a shot?
100%. So you want me to face?
Yeah. Well, face out so it's easy for the camera.
Yep.
And so we'll talk you through it. Oh, real quick, now that I'm thinking about this, grip width and position. There's honestly a huge amount of individual variation with this. One is interacromial distance. Like you can have really wide shoulders and be out here. You can have narrow shoulders and be out here. There's no right or wrong answer. Some people with wide shoulders, based on the structure and their nervous system and the way they practice, they like to be close and it works. Some people like to be wide and it works. So the answer of where to put your grips, I would say normally, is just like you do in the Macarena, which I do every day. When I wake up, hi, right? So I don't know how to dance. I'm very Jewish. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So just like put your hands up. Just lift your hands. Where are they going? That's it. That's where you start. Feels awkward, feels too close, taken half an inch out on each side, like a finger length. Yeah. Practice that. Take it out a little bit more, practice that. You might be like, this feels kind of, come back in. At some point, you'll find a place for you that works really well. So that's my shit on grip. It's very organic, but everything starts roughly shoulder width, plus or minus a couple inches. Everyone's going to be in that range.
Yep.
Good. So you're looking up a little bit at the bottom. I would like for you to dip your chin down and recess. Yes. Good. Yes. Yes. Try to move the bar back even more as you clear your face. Yes, very good. Head through more, bar back more. Yes, very good. Yeah, that's good. That's it. That's excellent. And a lot of the intricacies, the real nitty-gritty specifics, is something you're going to work out ecologically. And that's the thing I think that generally applies to almost all exercises, is there are a couple of maybe 3 to 6 dependable principles of every exercise that pretty much everyone should be following. Like, keep your shit back, keep your chest up, feet wide. And then after you have those basics, any further questions of, but what about this? What about that? What about instability, that? A lot of that, there are not dependable principles that apply to everyone, but it's an individualized journey. And that's where the art of coaching takes over. A coach will see what you're doing and be like, try this. Nope, try that. And then they'll find it. If you coach yourself, no worries. It's just a matter of you being open-minded and experimenting about stuff. But once you get the basics down and you're competent, don't get super neurotic about the specifics. Be an athlete, show off a little bit, have fun, play around, try some different variations. And over time, you're gonna be able to discover your best pressing technique. And that last part is important because I think a lot of people are like, all right, overhead press sucks. I'm gonna watch a YouTube tutorial by Omar Yusuf, and then I'm just gonna be like as good as Kyriakos Grizzly. But there's levels to this, and you're never gonna be as good as Kyriakos Grizzly to begin with, at anything. But also, like, it's gonna take some time for you to feel your own swag out. And because everyone's built differently, then it's gonna take you some time to figure out how you're built and how it works best for you. And it's okay, but you're gonna be making gains that entire journey.
Mike, all that makes sense, man. Final question for you. You have, once again, a monster overhead press. Were there any things on a personal level for you, understand individual variations, that really helped for that latter half? Because you really had, like, I would consider it an elite overhead press. Like, truly, and I think the overhead press overall, as a strength movement, where we talk about no-nonsense strength, is underrated. So game recognizes game. I'm trying to increase it. I did at 185, 240 for a single.
That's really impressive, super impressive.
Felt terrible, and that's what I was gonna ask, not like the execution, but for yourself, Mike, for people that are getting stronger, are there any quick tips once, let's say, people start scaling at around body weight or above, where kind of, you know, that pressure in your head and everything? If you're overhead pressing, like, let's say, you know, 200 pounds, you weigh 220, you might experience some of that pressure, but there's some theoretical point, kind of like what you're saying as it relates to hypertrophy, where it just starts feeling crazy. Any commentary, let's say, for the more advanced side? Like,
I have at least two things to say. One is you start getting serious, put on a belt, put it on real tight. A nice big ass belt. Strong men wear that big belt. I got one of those. Fucking max intra-abdominal pressure. So you get under there and the shit is floating just because you have so much intra-abdominal pressure. Like, you could just push it from here instead of your clavicles. Obviously, touch your clavicles. That's how we begin the press. That's the strict definition. So definitely wear a belt. Don't get this nonsense like, yeah, but he's got a belt on. Like, you train at a gym, motherfucker. Another thing that I would recommend is when shit gets heavy and scary, I got two things to say about it. Number one is don't let the bar get away from you. A lot of people will push the bar, they get hype, and they do this. Don't do that. Do this. So you got to keep it strict, real close to your face. One cool thing to watch is Olympic weightlifters. Just YouTube 2023 Olympic weightlifting training hall. Like 80 trillion videos will come up. Or like clean and jerk warm-ups. Because the guys and the girls, they'll take the bar out, and a part of their warm-ups is, you know, like the fucking hang cleans and shit. But a part of them is these really quick overhead presses, and then they start doing the jerk. But that press, you look at it and you're like, oh my God. First of all, every rep is identical because they've been doing this since age 8. Second of all, every rep basically grazes their face, and their head position is just super slick, and the bar moves back like 3 inches. That's what you want. So you have to keep that fluidity. A lot of people approach the overhead press like they approach like a just cock strong deadlift. You just like no technique, none of that shit. But the overhead press is more technical. It's more finicky. You get off a little bit one way or another, 1 inch, 1 inch, half an inch, you're done. It's over. Just, you know, if it's all out on you're like, nope, that's it. If the bar gets out from away from your face, you're fucking done. At limit weights, limit reps, you're done. So stay athletic and stay fluid. Stay technical. Don't just get in there, but get in there with some fucking attitude. Because there are weights you're going to be able to lift just from like a technical, like smooth flow kind of state of mind. And then there are weights you need an aggressive, kind of predatory state of mind. Like, fuck you, bar. I'm coming after that shit. I'm violent and I'm free and watch this. But you got to mix that with athleticism and awareness. You can't just go rage. When I pressed 275 for 8, I knew I was going to push it for a rep. It was a clean rep, and I went, and I was like, of course, another one's going to happen, because the second rep's usually easy. And then I was like, oh, I'm grooving. Oh, okay. And I got to like 6, and I was like, oh my God, 8's going to happen. But that entire time, I wasn't like, I don't believe in myself. Kind of, we'll see what happens. We're not going to see what happens. I'm going to fucking make it happen. If you believe that shit and you're athletic, you're going to get the most out of the overhead press you can. If you either go like crazy psychotic and go, and then dump it, that's not going to work. Or if you don't come in there with some goddamn confidence, and you're like, well, we'll see, I'm just trying my best. Like, nah, I don't know. At some amount of weight, you arch your back like that, your spine's like, fuck you, I'm not doing this. You got to be like, hey, shut the fuck up, spine. And spine's like, all right, dope. I'll do what I have to do. So it's a big lift. It's a serious lift. It's a fucking manhood lift. Like, you're going to make it happen. It's got to be on you.
Mike, this is what I wanted to hear. I knew Mike was all about the overhead press. Come on, bring it in, Mike. I know you like the overhead press,
love
bro.
the overhead
You
press.
love the overhead press. I could tell it in your eyes when you're making that first video, Mike. You're like, yeah, for high press, like, yeah, it might not be optimal, but you're like, it is a fun movement.
It's a spirit lift. It's a soul lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Russian we say для dуши, for the soul.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
And it commands respect. You see, I do have, it's funny, the 240 for 10 drug-free video or whatever. I was showing it to a few friends at work. I was a personal trainer in New York at the time. And one of my work friends, like, I walked out the press, it's 240, and he's like, oh, damn, that's a lot to front squat. If I start doing this, he's like, so if you can overhead press a lot, it's respect. The other thing I look at and I judge people for in the gym is technique. The overhead press does not start here. And it actually doesn't end here. You got guys doing this shit. What the fuck is that? You gonna go take that shit to the Olympics? Starts at the clavicle and it ends at lockout. You can do that for good reps or good weight, you're the fucking man. And I will come up to you in the gym and I will be like, there's a bathroom in the gym, that's all. Yeah. The stalls are like top to bottom, soundproof.
Yeah.
We could get in there and get a pop.
Yeah. Sauna.
Oh yeah.
Steamy.
There's other guys in there, but that just adds to the flavor.
A little more character. A little more musk, right?
Sardines.
Yeah. Mike, that's what I thought, man. I want to give nothing but respect to you, the channel.
You as well.
No, but for real, the overhead press, I think people truly don't respect it in certain ways, in strength circles even. And so that's why the lifts that you do, the knowledge that you have, where can people find you?
Renaissance Periodization on YouTube. If you can't type in RP Strength, if you can't type in, just start typing Dr. Mike IS, and the algorithm's taking care of the rest.
There you go. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll see all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace.
The truth hurts. I never left her. She left me. Fucking whore. I tell myself I don't miss her. Then what do? Sit in fucking 5-degree Canadian Celsius temperature weather. Cold as fuck. 2 things to warm my heart only. 1 is a cigarette. 2, memory of her. Fuck, she was sweet.